Good people. Good people. We're going to assume everybody good tonight. What is good? We back. Another episode with your two monarchs of professional wrestling. Your boy Cool McCain. And by me, as always, your man's the Playmaker. What's going on, Playmaker?
It's good. You know, wrestling doesn't have an off season, so once the big main shows happen, we just start all over again.
In some cases, we start all over. In some cases, it's just, in my personal opinion, unnecessary continuation. But that's another story.
By the way, I don't know if y'all been keeping up, but we're on episode 81. We have done 81 episodes. We are closing in on 100 episodes.
Yes, we are. And we're going to have some special guests. Episode 100.
Matter of fact, I want to win this 100 episode because today's 81. So let's see.
19 more weeks, sir.
Ooh.
But yeah, we're gonna have some special guests on for episode 100. A little different.
What day did we start this show?
The only thing I can tell you is it was a Monday.
Because the 100th episode would be on September 8th.
Be here, be square. September 8th.
September 8th will be the 100th episode. Man, that's towards the end of the summer. We'll be through SummerSlam by then, though, because I think SummerSlam is in August.
Well, it's great. It won't be any big thing like hopefully that week, so we can really have some fun with episode 100. I've got some plans in place. I talked to Playmaker. We're gonna twerk it out a little bit for episode 100, so to speak. Not actually twerk it out, but we're gonna twerk it out a little bit. So yeah, be here for that.
Man, that's crazy. We've been going hard ever since day one.
Mr. No Days Off.
This is what the Usos mean, down since day one.
Absolutely. I love it. So, ladies and gentlemen, y'all know how we get down. We're going to have to show AEW a little bit of extra time tonight because we've been, unfortunately, just how things have been playing out. We had to kind of, chill for a second just to have time for all the pre and post WrestleMania talk. But we back in now. AEW fans.
Did you just use the word unfortunately in a sarcastic manner?
I did not. Not. I would never do such a thing. You know what I'm saying?
Just making sure. I'm like, did he say that in a sarcastic way?
I would never do such a thing.
Oh, and by the way, there's my sister. Hey, sis. How you doing? By the way,
evening, Yolanda.
Before we get started, happy birthday, Cole Johnson.
The man with the plan.
Got to make sure the big bro gets this happy birthday wish from the Monarchs.
When he slide in, we got to slap him with a tad bit. Ooh. And then we'll be able to, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know if he's going to slide in. It is his birthday, so I don't know what he got planned.
I think he might slide in. I feel confident that we'll get a Cole Johnson site. I feel confident. So we're gonna start off talk a little TNA Rebellion. We didn't get a chance to kind of preview that, but y'all know what was happening, right? Y'all know how I go. But it's WrestleMania time. 2 nights, a lot of things going on. But anyway, we're back at it. TNA Rebellion was at the Galen Center, University of Southern California in LA. It was on April 27th, so last night. Smart move by TNA, understanding what's going on with the other wrestling companies and days and everything. And TNA, just for y'all that may not know, still considers theirs to be pay-per-views. All right, so we did have some overlap. As you know, we call everything NXT TNA now because there's a lot of overlap. So we had NXT's Fatal Fluence defeat Ying Lee, Rosemary, and Zaya Brooks side on the pre-show, the countdown to Rebellion. Elijah also defeated Shane Hayes of TDMK on the pre-card. So that was the end of your pre-card. Just 2 matches. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about pre-cards, right? 2, maybe 3 matches, and that's it. It should not be more than about 30, 35 minutes. Then a little talking, get about 45 minutes, and then commercials and stuff. You might get it to an hour. That's what a pre-show should be. AEW pre-show shouldn't be 2 hours. Take notes of what the other companies are doing. Just saying. People can say, "Oh, you taking shots at AEW." I'm not taking shots. I'm trying to help AEW get their ish together because I would like for them to be successful. They're just not giving me a lot to work with. You know, kind of like the New York football midgets or Giants, as they like to be called. It's not giving you a lot to work with right now.
Really, you taking NFL shots already? You didn't even get that training camp yet.
We had a draft. It's a new season. Just saying. Right. Eagles leads back this week. It's a new season. All right. So first match of the main card, X Division 6-person match. Ultimate X 6-person match. Of course, Moose wins. He beat El Hijo de Vaquino, Matt Cardona, Casey Navarro, Leon Slater, and Sidney Akeem. So we could go into a bunch of details, but we're just going to say Moose won the match, and we're going to keep it moving. They did acknowledge Joe Henry in his WrestleMania debut, losing to Randy Orton. And I got to say, the more I see it, the more just disappointed I am in how it was booked. You know, he does his signature stand and turn around, and then Orton hits him with an RKO and pins him like he gets no offense and nothing. A lot of nice things were said about Joe Hendry, you know, but at the end of the day, I mean, to me personally, they made him look very weak. And if I'm TNA, I'm like, yo, y'all got to make that up to us. Y'all made our world heavyweight champion, our number 1 guy, look weak. So the guy doesn't even have a belt in your company. So, you know, got to make it up to TNA somehow. But that's neither here nor there. Ariana Grace was on commentary for the next match. It was a Knockouts Tag Team Championship Fatal 4-Way match. So these multi-person, multi-team matches seem to be something that everybody's kind of getting really excited and into. But yeah, so had that match, and the teams involved in that match, of course, were the tag team champions. We have Ashton Heather by Elegance, NXT's Lash Legend, and Jakara Jackson, the Meta Ladies, the Meta Cakes. Excuse me, let me get it right. The Meta Cakes, Jody Threat and Danny Luna Spitfire, and NXT's Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley. So nice, you know, 4-way match. Got a few NXT teams to get some shine on TNA television. And of course, it'll go back the other way as well. Ash and Heather by Elegance won the match, and they are still champions. Maggie Lee came in and protected Ash, and she was able to get the pin. So then we have another match. We have the System taking on the Rascals, Trey McGill and Zachary Wentz, and Ace Austin. And Ace Austin had Sean Waltman, a.k.a. X-Pac, with him. The System, of course. This was Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards, and Moose, and they had Alicia Edwards there as well. Haven't seen JDC lately, so I'm not sure what's happening there. Well, actually, I do know what's happening. I'm not going to play with y'all. He had some travel issues, so Moose had to end up filling in. It was supposed to be JDC.
Oh, Moose did double duty.
Ace Austin and the Rascals, of course. The match. Zachary Wentz speared Moose and then hit him with a cutter and pinned him. So he'll probably automatically be the next guy to get a shot at his X Division championship. I'd personally like to see Moose move from the X Division and either be the international champion or go ahead and be the world champion again. I feel like the X Division is like the third tier belt. Personal opinion. Definitely by looks, it's the fifth tier belt, but that's a whole nother story as well. So TNA International Championship match: Steve Macklin versus Eric Young. I really like the International Championship. I like the Carolina blue colored backing, but I also like just the way it's built, the way it's made. It looks like a nice traditional championship that was upgraded and not some funky crap. I'm just going to leave that there. But the winner, still international champion Steve Macklin. We know a lot of times guys are not going to lose with their first championship match, right? When they win a championship, especially a brand new championship, you got to have a person hold a belt for a little bit of time to show the belt's value. So not expected, unexpected, but it definitely happened. Next, we had a Falls Count Anywhere match: Mike Santana versus Mustafa Ali. And of course, we know who won the match: Mike Santana, because he's all of a sudden the locker room guy and a big deal in TNA. And I mean, that's fine. I mean, it's not like he's a terrible wrestler or anything, but just, it's kind of interesting when you kind of figure everything out without even having to really.
Don't they make that 1-1?
Go ahead.
Between them two?
I believe that does. So, yeah.
So we got to go around 3. Great.
All right. Then we had knockouts. Yeah, it'll be around 3. It'll probably be around 5 at some point. TNA Knockouts World Championship match. Masha Slamovich defends her belt against Tessa Blanchard. And Masha Slamovich puts Tessa in the armbar, and Tessa does a Gunther and taps out. And Masha still has the championship. All right, TNA Tag Team match. The Hardys defend against the Nemeths. I will say this. Whoever won the match, it was really a loss for the fans. But TNA did do us a favor, and they put the belts on the Nemeths. And I'll tell you why that's a favor. The Hardy Boys are done. Big fan of Matt and Jeff. Team Extreme way back in the day with Lita and all that. But remember what I said way back in the day. It's cool to have the nostalgia acts, but I hope TNA's understanding they don't need to be long championship reigns. Right? Don't be like AEW and try to bring every old person in and give them a championship. We don't have to do that. So shout out to Nick and Ryan for giving us actual full-time wrestlers who can perform still at a high level as tag team champs. No knock against the Hardys, but age, Father Time is undefeated. All right, we had a triple threat for the TNA World Championship. Joe Hendry, Frankie Kazarian, and then they added All Ego Ethan Page from AEW. So I can tell you this, from my experience when it comes to championships, the person from the other company has not been winning them. And that holds true here. Of course, still winner and still TNA champion. The man who got dogged at WrestleMania by Randy Orton, Joe Hendry.
But
interesting. After the match, my boy Trick Willie comes in and hits Joe Hendry with a spin kick. Then he nailed him with a big knee to the face. He picks up the TNA title, looks at it, and throws it on Hendry. And the show goes off the air. So we're going to put we are going to put Trick Willie in a feud that we know he's going to lose because, again, he's not going to win the TNA championship. They haven't done any crossover of those championships, but I guess that does give him something to do. So,
hey,
that's not necessarily a total loss.
Something I thought about, and
talk to us.
I feel like that spinning kick probably be a better finishing move for Trick Williams than the trick shot. What you think?
Well, things will change. That's the good thing about that is they'll change his finisher at some point in the future. And I think he does need a new finisher to be taken more seriously. I think a lot of issues with like development. I talk about I feel like he needs to develop more stuff like that. I feel like if you give him a better finisher, that would instantly help boost his profile.
I mean, if he do the spinning kick as a finisher.
I don't know if he wants to spinning kick though, because he might feel like he's a Booker T clone if you do that.
He ain't doing the scissors kick.
You know,
You more
I'm just
closer to
saying,
Kofi Kingston than
it's
that
not a scissors
department
kick,
than
but you know,
Booker
it's a
T.
kick against black dude.
It's more closer to Kofi Kingston finishing move
I
than
don't want to
Booker
put
T.
that man in the category. Pause. We are
Hey.
not going to put Trick Williams in the category of Kofi Kingston. Let's please not do that. That's why I said Booker T. Please. Please. Y'all know how
But
I
you
feel
gotta
about
keep it a
Kofi
buck,
Kingston.
though,
Mr. No
man.
Chase.
You know
Please.
how you feel, but
You are correct.
Come on, man. You gotta keep it a buck. Feelings aside.
I can't.
Trust me, I had to do it the day earlier. Trust me.
I can't.
I know it's difficult. I had to put my phone to the side the day earlier too. So, but gotta keep it a buck.
I'm not doing it. I'm not gonna compare him to Kofi Kingston because that's setting him up for failure.
I said it's more closer than Booker T. I ain't say it was. I said it's more closer to that side than the Booker T side.
I'm just saying I'd like for it to be associated with more successful fellow dreadlocked wrestlers.
Okay, most you want let me help you. Most successful singles competitor.
But when you're 1/3 of a tag team, you got an extra person. You should be successful in the tag team division. And let's not forget.
That's why I said singles competitor.
Let's not throw any shade on Harlem Heat. Let's not forget. Let's not act like Booker T was not part of the most successful.
Harlem Heat is
Black brother tag team of all time.
That's why they
I don't think it's just that he's more successful as a singles competitor. I think he's more successful as a wrestler than Kofi Kingston. And that has nothing to do with my personal bias against the New Day, but I think that he does. I think that he is because Harlem Heat was what you call a trendsetter, what you call a team that opened the door for a lot of teams. There would be no New Day without Harlem Heat. You can say there would be no Harlem Heat without Doom, but even after Doom, you needed more. You needed it to continue, and that was Harlem Heat. So, personally, a better tag team wrestler and a better singles wrestler. Just saying, my opinion, and make it right.
I mean, more people.
Daniel Barry's in the building.
Than a tag team. They have to go all the way back to the 90s to go back and see him as a tag team.
He's in the Hall of Fame for both.
Oh, he is.
He's in the Hall of Fame in both. So they should have done their research. Yolanda says, "Happy birthday, Cole." Hopefully, Cole is able to hop in
on the show, sir.
All good. Birthday, happy birthday behavior.
You don't say the R word, okay? The R word is terrible.
I don't know what to say. I'm not allowed to speak here, but
Is there some more?
To speak here if I can.
I'm just saying, like, there's some words people don't want us to use, and the R word is one of them.
What R words? I forgot what I said.
Because it actually means you have to put in time and effort to actually go look for the information, which people don't know how to do nowadays.
That's my response to my co-host.
He just had to find a way to bring up Booker T. Didn't you?
I had no search motivation, sir. Why would I purposefully?
Oh my gosh! Anyway,
why would I?
Are we going to break and then going to AEW or what?
Yes, sir. We're going to take us a quick sabbatical hiatus. And we will be back. And we will be hopping on to the AEW train. Let's get it.
Hey, Eagles fan. Join my man Cool McCain and a host of others as they break down every single game, every single week in an objective manner, and also from a fan's perspective as well. Remember, this cast feels just like you. Nobody likes you. And you don't care. Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles Elite Podcast. Every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, and other podcast outlets. Whether it's the men's college game,
The way that this season has been going, yeah, anything is possible.
the women's college game,
And how passionate Ancient Reef was at that press conference, they got their mojo now.
the WNBA,
AJ Wilson, Brianna Stewart 1 and 2, followed by Brittany Griner, Aaliyah Boston, Jackie Young,
or the NBA.
The Lakers had a 0.8 chance of winning. And then what happened in the fourth quarter? LeBron James by himself outdid the Clippers.
You will get any and all of the information right at your fingertips or your earlobes. Join the Playmaker as he breaks down all things basketball in Shooting Lights Out on the Playmakers blog, network, YouTube channel, and where you can find podcasts. Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze car.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crown they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to, I can be the black people.
As he takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Shout out to Real Wise Radio, 502 Angel Radio. We can also hear this wonderful production, as I like to believe it is. Anyway. All right. So, if you have been watching AEW, you know that last 2 episodes have actually been slightly interesting, right? They'll tie in, so we'll be able to kind of. And the reason I say slightly interested AEW fans, I know those who watch them are like, "Hey, this dude don't even give AEW no love." It's because I'm concerned with the long-term storytelling aspects of everything. I do quite feel that there may be some new blood, some people have a new say-so in creative, or helping make decisions. But we'll have to see if it continues before I'll put my trust into it. But if you've been watching AEW, you know the last 2 episodes have been fairly good. They've kind of been making moves, doing some things.
What kind of moves?
Keeping us as far as how they're setting up the shows and things like that. They're using people and they're doing things in a better manner. They're making logical things happen. You know what I'm saying, making moves. Like, not that they're bringing in people, but they're using who they have correctly. So on the 17th edition before this one, we know that the Ops won the championships. So they got introduced. Mox and the Death Riders were not happy about that. So that kind of turned into a thing. Then again, it happened this week, and they were introduced by Master P. Yeah, Master P was on.
Oh, I know.
The Death Riders interrupted the celebration, laid out the title holders. While Samoa Joe was in a Coquina clutch, Young Bucks, Okada attacked him. Swerve Strickland and Kenny Omega came out, and they sent the Elite and the Death Riders to the back. Samoa Joe made a proclamation that he was going to face Moxley for the championship. And Moxley on Collision, excuse me, I got that backwards. Moxley on Collision said he wanted to have a title match against Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe accepted that and said, "I'm coming for your AEW World Championship." I like the little chaos at the beginning. It ties a couple of people in there. It's crazy that you have Powerhouse Hobbs in the ops now, right? And he's just getting beat down like everybody else. What's the point of calling yourself calling him Powerhouse Hobbs if he's never going to use that power advantage to take some people down? Just saying. And that's not a knock on Powerhouse Hobbs because he doesn't decide his character, right? But I'm just saying you have Powerhouse Hobbs. He should put up more of a fight, I feel like, than what they allowed to happen. Just throwing it out there.
Anything else you want to bring up from Collision?
Joe did. If you could bring up some from Collision if you'd like to. I just wanted to go back to this and just say that Joe kind of hit a side-eye swerve when he was making his proclamation to get the AEW World Championship. I feel like
your favorite
Collision you'd like to bring up, sir. So go and throw it out.
I mean, your favorite champion was on Collision.
Go ahead.
Tony Storm went against Queen Amanada.
They were. Yes, you did.
Which nobody complained at all.
Cake smack.
By the way, a move that Queen Amanada did on the apron to Tony Storm might have left people feeling some type of way. Just saying.
It was a very nice move, I will say.
I know you was gonna say that. Very interesting move, and pretty sure a lot of guys wish there was Tony Storm at that moment in time. He's one of them. I was like, you should
argue with that.
So I was like, anything else you want to bring up from Collision? See, this is what happens when you watch the NBA playoffs. During the weekend, you end up running a Collision right afterwards.
We had a match next between Mark Briscoe and Ricochet. Ricochet lost to Mark Briscoe. After the match, he tried to get him with the scissors. Kevin Knight came out and made the save for Mark Briscoe.
So are we doing this up and down thing with Ricochet?
This is what I'm saying. So when I say, like, they have some good shows, but there's some things where you kind of like, what do we got going on? Like, to get a guy a push, he has to be consistently winning matches. And it doesn't have to be against top level talent, but you can't be win 1 week, lose 2 weeks, count out, or you're not involved in the decision, then lose 2 or 3 more times. That doesn't allow people to say this is somebody I should take serious.
Ricochet loses to Mark Briscoe, but can beat Swerve.
So
they can beat.
Yeah. Right.
Just don't.
So Christian Cage was back, and he was trying to take credit for Nick Wayne's Ring of Honor TV Championship.
Dang, he ain't retired.
He gave it back to him with quote unquote love. Nah. So the Rock and Roll Express were in the ring with FTR, who are back, and they're being managed now by Stokely Hathaway, which means they are clearly heels. I don't really know how to feel about this. I have to see how it works. But they have a new FTR t-shirt calling them the Living Legend Killers.
Really?
Yeah.
That gimmick has been already taking you already.
Strong and O'Reilly will be fighting FTR on Collision. Clearly, I believe FTR is going to win because anytime you're the bad guys and you come back and you're changing things up.
Are they going to win? Because somebody with a crowbar is chasing after them.
Well, they won't lose, put it like that. The Young Bucks fought Speedball, Mike Bailey, and Kevin Knight. The Young Bucks beat Speedball, Mike Bailey, and Kevin Knight. They actually had a better match than they've had in a while. They weren't just gymnastic flipping, as Cole would say. They've been working out, getting in good shape. Of course, it became a super kid party because it can't be them without that. But of course they won.
Of course.
We have the best, or at least one of the best stories going on in AEW right now. And that is MJF attempting to slide himself into the Hurt Syndicate. But before I said that, Yolanda says, they've been okay, but Master P. She says she doesn't understand that at all. She said the little punch he did was weak. I agree. I wasn't even going to bring up the punch, but since you brought it up, this is cool. I don't think he wanted to be in a situation like Travis Scott. So I'm just going to throw this little weak punch. And that way they can get out of the way of it. Ain't really nothing. And then, it just doesn't lead to any other haberdashery, tomfoolery, or any of those things. So I think probably the right decision for Master P. You didn't have to be booked to throw a punch at all, but if you are, it's probably the right way to do it. So Hurt Syndicate, MJF. He's had the thumb up from MVP. He now has the thumbs up from Shelton Benjamin. Still does not have the thumbs up from Bob, as he likes to call him, which is probably part of the reason why he doesn't have the thumbs up.
That man took the car and gave him a thumbs down still. Nasty work by Bob. Nasty work.
Yeah. That pretty much summed it up. We can go into more detail, but that pretty much summed it up. All right. Then we had Will Ospreay and Brody King against Konosuke Takeshita and Josh Alexander. Obviously, Ospreay and Brody King being the faces in this situation. The Don Callis family won because they're basically Don Callis family. Brody King got the C4 spike from Josh Alexander, newer guy from TNA. Really good wrestler, actually. Lance Archer, after the match, chokeslam Bill Ospreay. Kyle Fletcher arrived. Heyman Adam Page tried to get his hands on him, but that didn't work. Roppongi Vinci attacked the Cowboy. Make a long story short, they did get stronger by getting back one of their members. And for those of you who don't know, that would be Trent Beretta. Trent Beretta returned. So more bad guys there. They are doing a better job of being what I'm not even going to say that ridiculous name. The Death Riders are supposed to be. The family, the Don Cox family's been doing a better job of being that. Numbers, all that good stuff. All right, Women's Owen Hart Foundation Tournament. Chris Statlander versus Jamie Hayter. Obviously, it's going to be a good match.
You might want to take that comment down.
Also, tentatively involved. I forgot I was still up there. Thank you. So I thought I had hit the button. So, I feel like there wasn't a good way for this match to end because both ladies kind of need a win. I did like this matchup from when I seen it was a matchup. Jamie Hayter won.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. They did good with the time they were given. I'll just say that. So this kind of backs into what Playmaker wanted to make sure he got off early. Tony Storm threw out a championship eliminator match opportunity for Collision, which was answered by Queen Amanada, which led to that match that we were talking about, the case versus case match. I'd say Master P had an Ops t-shirt, by the way, if you didn't see it live. I'll say I feel like it was a good show because they're trying to build stories. You know what I'm saying? Like, not just the Death Riders are going to kill everybody and all this foolishness, but they're actually trying to build stories and some things that make sense. You got the Young Bucks kind of in there, kind of like they rocking with the Death Riders a little bit. We'll see how that continues to play out. I don't think there's going to be something that's going to be a good long term because the Young Bucks always want to be in charge, and they technically are in charge. But we'll see how everything plays out with that. I like the heel turn for FTR because they've always been good guys for the most part, except for when they were in the little group with MJF. Which we don't even deserve to say that group's name anymore either. But I think it's buildable. You can build on it. It's still not like a show. I mean, if I was giving it a grade, I'd probably give it like a B minus, C plus. But that's up from some of the shows that I would have given much lower. So continue to build what you're doing, AEW, the right way. Get people involved in it. Build on it. Get people back by showing them story and wrestling. And we don't need spot monkeys. I'll borrow Cole's line that we don't need spot monkeys. Let's just have good matches. Let's save the 20 false finishes at least for your pay-per-views.
By the way, you forgot to mention this, but Jamie Hager does have an opponent in the finals. That would be Mercedes Moné.
I did forget to mention it. But yes, that is correct. Now, I haven't mentioned anybody's future opponents. That's why I didn't mention it, but you are correct. That is her opponent. All right, so we're going to have another quick...
Here's my problem. Why I got to wait to June for that match to take place?
You need to ask Antonio Khan.
Literally 2 months from today. At All In.
Because they pushed to get to the finish too fast. They didn't do this thing called spacing it out.
That's all. That's all.
That's all?
That's it.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so we're going to take us another commercial break here, good people. We're going to slide back through the spot. And we are going to talk some WWE. A lot of things still happening in WWE. So we're going to get to it. The W.
Drew Willingham.
In this case, yeah, you put the blame on Kyle Shanahan for apparently not preparing the team enough for the overtime rules, supposedly.
Cole Johnson.
Peyton was considered the winner, and he was the darling of all darlings for Gerald.
With a special appearance by Tyrone Alizé McDummy.
Ain't nobody calling me. Text. Delete!
Join these two football enthusiasts as they give you Total Football Talk. Live every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central on the Sertoba Media and the Comey Media YouTube channels. Rams fans all around the world.
It's a beautiful thing to be a Rams fan right now. Stafford's back. We're going to see about Cup. And running back Kerryon Williams to return.
Lend me your ears, or should I say lend Playmaker your ears, as he breaks down week by week everything in the Los Angeles Rams canon.
Number 99, Aaron Donald. Can't wait for 2029 to come. to know that you are going in the Hall of Fame, and it should be first ballot, no questions asked.
Join the Playmaker as he breaks down everything Los Angeles Rams style in Ramily Talk on the Playmakers Blog Network YouTube channel and where you can find podcasts.
All right, good people. We do got one more, but the button got stuck. So let's get that one.
Everything Boston. I love you, you morons. New Kids from the Block, New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason Whitlock.
All right. So now we are fully back. And it's time for some WWE talk. Playmaker, where we going with it tonight?
All right. Sir, do you want the good or do you want the bad?
Give me the good, the bad, and the ugly. I don't give a
No,
shit.
I'm saying which one you want first.
Let's go and get the bad out of the way.
Just gonna get the bad out the way. So we're gonna
Say
start
the
with
best.
getting the bad out the way. So if y'all recall, on WrestleMania, was it night 2, the return of Becky Lynch to team up with Lala Valkyria and they win the women's tag team titles. 24 hours later, on the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania, they defended those titles against Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. Do you know how this match ended?
I do know how it ended, sir.
It ended with Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan getting their 4th tag team title reign, and Becky Lynch beating up Lala Valkyria.
Well, Lyra should have won the match. Shouldn't have got pinned. Maybe she wouldn't have got beat up.
Why you just didn't do that at WrestleMania?
Because they won at WrestleMania.
Becky could have returned. They could have lost the match. And Becky goes off at WrestleMania.
And Dirty Dom can't celebrate and hold his belt up with his ladies. Yeah, I'm being sarcastic, but of course. I'm
Oh, I know you being sarcastic. That's why I ain't respond.
For anybody who don't know, I'm being sarcastic.
He agreed with me on the fact that you basically took the titles off them just to put it back on there 24 hours later. And the funny thing is, me and this guy got in an argument last week about Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. And we turn around and we just gonna lose the title right at the gate.
But guess what? She isn't going to be competing for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship at a Backlash either. She was Charlotte Flair. She would.
Give it a month or two. She'll be in that picture.
It'll already be over a month by the time Backlash is here.
Give it a month or two. Yeah, she'll be right back in the picture. Trust me. This is Becky Lynch we're talking about. Oh, no. I'm sorry. This is Cole Johnson's birthday. Becky Hogan we're talking about here.
The man, Becky Hogan. Well, if she's Becky Hogan, it was Charlotte Flair.
You got to talk to Cole now.
Charlotte Flair.
you gotta talk to Cole. No, he the one who came up with
the
Becky Hogan.
Nepotism.
God gracious. Like, really? You just could have did that at WrestleMania. Had the whole 65,000 whatever that was in Allegiant Stadium go bananas because, oh my God, Becky just turned heel in front of all of us.
They wanted her to have a moment with Rue, where Rue came out and talked and all that. Couldn't do that if she was a heel already. That's why I think they didn't do it, seriously. Like, I say a lot of sarcastic stuff, but seriously. Because she had a moment where Rue was in there with her doing the interview and everything. So, I think that was the reason why. That's my one non-sarcastic statement.
But I hear you. But you are the same guy that can't stand the back and forth booking.
But is that back and forth booking? Because she wasn't even supposed to be in that match.
She wasn't.
You know, she didn't have any booking before then.
But
Maybe
if
we
you
got.
was
Maybe we got
gonna
the.
turn here, that's if you was gonna turn here, let's turn here at WrestleMania.
But that's on. So
Becky.
here's the thing.
That's
not on Becky. That's not on
No,
Becky.
It is
That
Becky.
is on Paul Levesque.
There's been multiple reports that have said Becky Lynch came up with the entire idea.
Okay, but even if she came up with the idea, how many people have pitched ideas that got shot down? That's still Paul Levesque that said, let's go with this terrible idea. So you know what? It's still Paul Levesque's fault.
I agree with you, but it's not all his fault. Becky came up with it. This is Becky we're talking about. Becky is in that era where she can do her own thing.
All right, Playmaker, that may be true. But again, this is the part I want you to listen to. There are billions of ideas that are pitched to Paul and the creative team. It's up to them to say, that's probably not a good idea, and we're not going to do it. Or to say, okay, we're going to do it. He said okay to this. It is not a great idea. It was never a great idea. It was never going to come off as a great idea. It wasn't going to be some big surprise screw job. It was, chick comes back, she has her daughter, she has this one good night, and then she turns into her husband. Whoop-de-doo surprise. Your husband turned into a scumbag on WrestleMania Night 1. You turn into a scumbag on Monday Night Raw. Surprising. So maybe she's going to be the first Paul Heyman girl.
Man, she did bring that up. Well, I forgot how long ago that was that she wanted to be the first Paul Heyman girl, but we are on track.
Yep. Got a couple of comments throwing out there real fast. Teflon Don says, good evening, fellas. Good evening, bro. Appreciate you tuning in and checking us out. Yolanda says, that was stupid. Again, you won't have me agree that it was stupid. Teflon Don says, he has favorites. He absolutely does.
Becky's one of them.
Becky's definitely one of them. But at the end of the day, you still can tell your favorite. Now we're not going to go that way. That's still on him. Like, that's still on him. Becky's going to come with some outrageous stuff.
I didn't say you was wrong. I just said that Becky is in that rare era that can do her own thing. And Triple H
is in her contract.
Is going to sign off on it because it's Becky Lynch we're talking about here.
But Becky gets the nepotism push too because she's Seth Rollins' wife. So there's that.
Oh, so double.
It's still not the Charlotte Flair. It's still not the Charlotte Flair push though. Charlotte Flair comes back, and every time she has a championship match that she is in less than a month.
Hey, at least she lost this one. She lost this one, okay?
Whoop-de-doo.
She put over Tiffany Stratton. All right.
Whoop-de-doo.
Just saying, she put over Tiffany Stratton.
About time, Ashley.
Hey, why are you playing? That might be coming out real soon. Why you playing? Charlotte, just so y'all know, Charlotte Flair might be done for, and then you're gonna get Ashley. That's been floating around. I'm looking. I'm like, really? But we never seen Ashley, so we don't even know who Ashley is. So,
well, what we do know is that she's in the same body as the Nepo baby Charlotte, so she'll get a push right away because she'll be Nepo baby part 2. We do know that.
I don't know. She might not be so. What's the word I'm looking for?
Nepo babyish.
Well, that's your word, and I'm gonna use it for this conversation. You might get a different version. You might get something different. Ashley might be this totally different person.
But
you might come on here and be like, "Why you want that when you were Charlotte?"
But the problem is going to be everybody that dislikes Charlotte is still going to see Charlotte.
Pretty much. Now that's gonna be that's a conversation I would love to be in the room with Triple H and Charlotte, trying to figure out. Hey, I want to bring Ashley out. You sure that's gonna work? You've been Charlotte.
Like, stupid.
You've been Charlotte ever since you stepped foot in WWE.
You should be like, oh, that's stupid. You got not be Ashley. They play the game. I'm just kidding. I'm sure he doesn't talk like that in real life. I'm just kidding.
But now we go from Becky Lynch coming back getting a WWE Tag Team title match to now she's fighting for the Intercontinental Championship. And we don't know when that's going to happen.
And see, that's fine. That's fine. Because that's the second tier championship. That's fine. But again, Charlotte, there wouldn't have been no second tier championship. Charlotte doesn't come back unless she gets a guaranteed championship match, I believe.
You said guaranteed championship match. Let me correct
Yes,
you. Let me correct you, Will. Let me
can try
help
to
you
correct
out. Let me help you out. A world championship match. Because now I'm starting to see what's the problem. Becky can get any title matches, okay. Charlotte getting world title matches. That's the problem.
Now, the problem is Charlotte comes back and gets a match the first opportunity that comes available.
I said world title matches.
Becky came out. She filled
Basically,
in for somebody that needed
Charlotte
help.
comes back. She goes after the main title right away. Becky comes back. Whoever got a title, you better be on the lookout. Because Becky's coming.
But here's the point. Becky would if Lyra Valkyria wasn't pinned in that tag team match, they would still be tag team champions, and we would not have this Becky Lynch. Lyra not being able to kick out caused her to get beat down by Becky and caused Becky to turn.
Again, this was
Charlotte
Becky's
doesn't even
idea
have anybody
to
that likes her.
This was
Nobody would
Becky's
even
idea
team
to
with
be.
Charlotte.
Becky literally came up with the idea to come back, team with Lyra, win the tag team titles, lose the tag team titles, and blame Lyra for it.
Okay. Again, did she write the idea herself and say, this is what we're going with? Or did she pitch an idea and Paul Levesque said, we're going to go with this, even though I think it's a bad idea? That's
both.
What happened.
I'm doing both. She wrote it, she threw it down, and she's like, this is what I want to do.
And then Paul said, okay, Bex, let's do it.
Because she's Becky Lynch.
But that's on him for not being able to, because remember, he's supposed to be this visionary of writing and all this stuff. That's on him to be like, Becky, I don't think that's going to roll over well if we do that. So why don't we do this instead? But he didn't do that. He just ran with it. So guess what? Again, it is on Hunter Hearst Helmsley, a.k.a. real name Paul Levesque. He's the booker, right? Becky's not a booker. She's not a production. She's not a booker. She don't write for the creative team, right?
She got creative control.
She doesn't have creative control. She can put out ideas, and then Hunter, who has creative control, and his team can say yay or nay.
That's something I want to know. I want to know if anybody in WWE actually has creative control of their own storylines.
No.
That would be very interesting.
They're not going to give them that. They probably allow certain people to have more input, but they don't get nobody creative control because it'll kill your company. Look what it did. Look what it did with Hulk Hogan and them had. You can't get nobody creative control.
I'll come back to how Raw started later, Chris. That's how SmackDown started. So I'll come back to that later.
Can you read this comment, sir? I don't want. Please read this comment.
You want me to read it?
I do want you to read it.
Teflon Dom says, I can say this even though Vince was with his BS. He kind of knew how to book black talent better than Triple H.
Do you agree, sir?
Hold on to that thought, sir. Because I ain't even get to SmackDown yet.
But do you agree?
SmackDown. That's why I say hold on.
You don't have to go into it, but just do you agree? We will get into it when we get to SmackDown, of course. But do you agree? I just want to know, do you agree?
What I saw on SmackDown? No.
All right. Teflon Don, I 100 million trillion quadrillion % agree with you, sir. Off top, I agree with you, sir. And one thing that Paul does is not going to change my mind. So I agree with you, Teflon. I wanted Playmaker to read it because I knew he wasn't going to agree with you. 100%. I knew it. 1,000%. Ilana says that still wouldn't work. No matter she calls herself, we tired of her. No Charlotte, no Ashley. Again,
you ain't like Charlotte from day one.
Again, I agree. Yolanda says,
I ain't know you.
Playback
I ain't know you since then, so I ain't know if you
Steven-
ain't like each other.
Hey, oh,
You do, brother. You do, brother. That's like a compliment to me, right?
it is not meant to be a compliment. I can
You do.
100% guarantee you it's not meant to be a compliment.
You do, really. That's a
you
compliment.
know it's not meant to be a compliment. You know your sister. You know there's not no compliment. Don't do that.
You know why she said that, right? No, you know why she said that, right? Because she know who's my favorite TV personality is.
Okay.
Which is Stephen A. Smith.
Way.
So that's a compliment.
That's not no compliment.
That is a compliment. That's the guy I look up to. So
please put in the chat if that's a compliment or not.
Ain't about what she said, it's how I take it.
No, it's about how she meant it.
No, it's about how I take it.
And that's what we're gonna clarify. You know how she meant it.
I take it as a compliment. No, because
why you're doing more Stephen A. posturing.
No, you trying to talk to me that I gotta take it a certain way. I take it my own way.
Yolanda says that wasn't a compliment. Just so you're clear.
How is not a compliment, but you're gonna compare me to the guy that I actually act like. Come on now. You pitched me saying I'm doing what I plan on doing. How does not a compliment? Think about it.
Because everybody's not a fan of Stephen A. Smith. Most people aren't.
I don't care. Everybody ain't a fan of everybody.
So when she's comparing you to him, she tell you stop doing that Stephen A. Smith crap.
I ain't doing that.
Okay. You just said you were.
Why would I stop doing what I've been doing? That's no.
I'm just telling you what was said. What you do?
Hey, you got people that don't like you and you know it.
Oh, I have people I don't like, and they know it. And I hope they don't like me because I don't want you to like me. I don't like you.
If you don't got haters, you ain't doing nothing.
1609 Wrestling says how cool Harley Race and Gunther are missing in the thumbnail. Just joking. You guys popped into my algorithm. Glad we did, sir. That was a good one. That was
very good. Speaking of Gunther, no, take that down. Speaking of Gunther, take that down. So Gunther, you know, Jay made his entrance. Jay did his thing. Sammy came out, which I kind of felt kind of worried about.
Looked like a heel turns in the midst for Sammy as well.
So you felt the same way I felt when we saw Sammy, right?
That's not the same Sammy.
I'm like, something's off about this. Jimmy comes out, we got the whole thing going on. We go to commercial break. We come back. Gunther's out there. Gunther's going at Michael Cole. What is going on here? Gunther feels some type of way.
Yes, he does.
To be quite honest, Michael Cole didn't help. Talking about so I'm not the one who tapped out.
Right. But he didn't lie.
He didn't lie, but why would you say that in that situation? You know why he pissed off. You've been talking about it. Everyone been talking about it. But you gonna say it right in his face?
That's they were chanting as well, so you know.
They were chanting, but he didn't have to say it. That's about point. Pat McAfee, been a good friend. Hey. Hold on, let's calm down. Gunther shows him. Gunther snatches Michael Cole, tries to put him in the sleeper until Pat McAfee intervenes. Pat McAfee said, all right, I got you off Michael Cole. I can go back doing my job. And he did the
one rule you don't do.
He broke the unwritten rule. That was the phrase I was trying to look for. He broke the unwritten rule. He turned his back on Gunther. And then Gunther put him in the sleeper. Here's the funny part.
Tried to come in and help him too.
And I was like, here's the funny part. The Pat McAfee boy tried to come in and security was waiting. It's almost like, wait a minute. Kind of felt like it was planned. But listen to everybody, it wasn't planned. It's like, but it was a whole bunch of security guards holding you guys back while Gunther still got him in the sleeper. And Pat went to sleep. Obviously, he didn't tap. As a lot of people like to bring up. They take Pat to the back and get him trained up. Michael Cole decides to go back and finish commentating on Raw. Can't allow bullies to bully me out of my job. And him and Joe Tessitore finish Raw together. Now, Gunther has been fined and suspended indefinitely.
Best thing for him.
You actually mean that, or are you trying to be sarcastic?
No, best thing for him was submitting.
Okay,
That's the best thing for him.
I just call it a vacation. He had vacation time that he put in.
Mm-hmm. Come back. I've heard some talk that they're going to be doing a draft here in the next few months.
They still didn't put a date on that, which is stupid.
Yeah. So
we need a date
to get traded.
Triple H, this is what I get on you. I need a date. Should have been had this date locked in, so we know what we got going on. So now we got that out the way. Rusev returned. Here's the problem that some people have. He returned to destroy Alpha Academy. How do you feel about that? They don't like it was Alpha Academy that he had to debut against. They wanted to be somebody more
important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even want, because when you say important, that's like a short list of people.
But when you say more important, that's a longer list than Alpha Academy.
Sure enough. You agree with you agree with the consensus on Rusev's return?
I don't really care personally, but I can understand why people would say, why you got to come back and squash two jabronis named Juventud, and you know what I'm saying? And we're considering that something spectacular.
Didn't see Lana. Maybe that's the reason why he's going out to Alpha Academy. So many Maxine stuff saying Lana comes out. Maybe that's the thinking behind it. Because who else has a female in the group on Raw?
Well, Lana has a Legends contract, so she won't be actively wrestling anyone.
I ain't saying actively wrestling. I'm just saying, like, whenever Maxine gets involved, Lana shows up.
Lana about to be, Maxine about to be going to do the tag team with Natty anyway.
They're gonna be officially a tag team. Cause I know they did that crap for SmackDown, but they still didn't win that match. So that's asking.
But you know they'll reflip things real quick. Pause.
That one do not reflip. Let that one just let that one go. Just let that one go. Just let it go. We got a dream match that we didn't have on our card for 2025. Io Sky came out, pretty much telling everybody that she is that chick. Putting in some simple terms for y'all, saying she is that chick and put some respect on her name. I'm in that group too because of I still want Bianca Belair, but I'll get to Bianca Belair on SmackDown. And then the NXT champion, Stephanie Raquel, showed up on Raw.
Yes, she did.
And she had on her ring gear. Because I was wondering, well, Io Sky mostly have on her ring gear most of the time anyway, so. Like, she just coming ready to fight just in case. I was like, okay, interesting here. Stephanie said, I want to fight you. It was like, right here, right now. I'm like, holy smokes. We getting Io Sky versus Stephanie Vaquer. Who would have ever thought we would have got this in 2025? And it was a great match. Great match. And what happens when you have great matches on free TV? Somebody got to blank it up.
If it's WWE, somebody got to interfere.
Somebody got to blank it up. Insert Roxanne Perez. Who, for whatever odd reason, decided to hit Io Sky. I don't even know why. Julia shows up. Looked at Roxanne Perez. And they switched opponents. So Roxanne went for Stephanie and Julia went for Io. I'm like, what the word is going on here? And then Mommy shows up to stop the madness. A cordial Mommy at that. Make sure I put it in the right terms. Because if I say Mommy, people think Rhea might have done some damage. No, it was a cordial Mommy on this one. Looked at Io Sky, she said, I'm coming for that title. And left the ring. No harm, no foul. How did you feel about this whole dream match scenario that we ended up getting on Raw, which we did not know we was going to get?
It was a nice little touch. I mean, they don't really have anything going on with them right now with the women's division besides that, that same thing. So I don't mind them having something like this like every once in a while. Don't be trying to make this no regular thing, but that's what makes it cool because it was just a one-time thing. You know what I'm saying?
That is, speaking of which, Teflon Don, that is Stephanie Verkez. She is the NXT Women's Champion. As a matter of fact, spoiler alert, she's on Monday Night Raw tonight.
Yeah, Teflon Don says, I don't know who that woman was in the ring with Io. And like I say, that was a really good match. And that's what I'm saying. Like, everybody doesn't watch NXT, TNA. So everybody doesn't get a chance to see some of these really good wrestlers who are in that part of the development system. So giving the ones that you know are ready that can handle being in main roster spots a little shine, I think that's beneficial to try to maybe get some of the people who really love wrestling but just haven't had a reason to watch NXT, give them an opportunity to say, all right, we're going to do this.
I'm going to say this now. I don't know about you, but Stephanie is shooting up my ladder board right about now.
Yes. I mean, she won't get, I don't think they'll promote her now.
I'm talking about me personally.
Just because she, just got there recently. No, but I'm just saying, I was about to say, but what she's doing, how she had both championships, gave up the least important of the two, and NXT kept the other one, and is still champion. That says a lot for, hey, some random time in the year when they're doing call-ups, you might see her get called up. And I'm liking what she's doing.
Hey, she's shutting up my board, man. And she might become a personal favorite over some other people. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Dirty Dom didn't waste no time. Won the Intercontinental Championship on a Sunday. Defended on Monday night against Penta. And then with everything going on, you knew Dirty Dom was going to retain. Well, you're going in thinking Dirty Dom was going to retain until you saw what happened to Becky Lynch and Lala Victoria. But you went in thinking Dirty Dom was going to retain. You just wonder how he was going to retain. He retained. Then the workhorse. I'm calling him the workhorse of the Judgment Day. He deserves that. JD Madonna returned to make sure Dirty Dom kept the Intercontinental Championship. Fan didn't even know he was returning. Did that throw a monkey wrench in fans' plans?
Absolutely. Absolutely threw a monkey wrench in the plans of Finn because he be trying to do some little shaky stuff.
But Dirty Dom, successful title defense against Penta. Keeping things rocking and rolling. I wonder how long this reign is going to last for Dirty Dom. And when does Finn Balor go ahead and confront Dirty Dom and goes for the Intercontinental Championship? Those are two different questions, by the way. And then the moment everybody been waiting for. Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman. Why? 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 And why? The strangest thing is this, though. People still love Seth Rollins, but they booing Paul Heyman.
Yeah. Yeah. Paul's going to get booed. You know why he's getting booed? Don't play. Why is he getting booed?
So Seth Rollins can beat the Tribal Chief and we can cheer him, but Paul Heyman, who has been put between a rock and a hard place, had a decision to make, and we don't like the decision.
Paul Heyman turned his back on CM Punk and Roman Reigns.
Like I said, he got put in a rock and a hard place.
He didn't have to turn his back on both of them, though. That's a decision that he made. And there's consequences and repercussions to your decisions. Turning your back on two of the most loved wrestlers in the WWE right now is going to get you booed. See, Seth Rollins is not being booed because everybody knows he can't stand Roman. He's, you know what I'm saying? And then he hates CM Punk. So you're not mad at him for doing it. You're mad at Paul.
So like I said earlier, like I said last week, he didn't want to choose between two of them, so he chose neither.
Well, I mean, that's his prerogative, but you can't do that and be surprised that people don't like you.
CM Punk comes out taping up the hands, meaning we fighting. We ain't talking, we fighting. Anytime you see CM Punk coming out to the arena and he's taping his hands, we fight. We ain't speaking no words. It's on sight, in other words. And of course, you know, Seth Rollins took care of CM Punk. And then Roman Reigns comes out. Roman Reigns deals with Seth Rollins. Superman punches Paul Heyman. And then Roman Reigns got speared. Well, who in the heck speared Roman Reigns? Braun Breaker. Now, this is the part of the show where my co-host needs to tell WWE they need to pay us for what they be doing, because we be talking it up before it even happened.
Give us the loot, yo. Give us the loot. Stop playing. Y'all watch it. Give us the loot.
I said last week, Braun Breaker need to go ahead and be in the main event spot. And you know, Cool was kind of, you know, hesitant on it because it's like, well, what they gonna do with him though? Like Cool need to see where we going if you're gonna put him in the main event picture. Sure enough, he's teaming with Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman. What do you know? Didn't have that on my card. But Braun Breaker is now part of the main event picture now. So now going into tonight, we have more questions.
But they are using it. And they're doing something with them, which is what we said they should do.
Now we have more questions. And then earlier when we talked about Becky Lynch turning heel, could she be joining her husband? Could she be joining her husband? More questions. What's the thing Roddy Piper used to say? When you think you got all the answers, he changes the question.
Yeah, you can never have all of them, but at the end of the day, you know, your boys be pretty locked in. I ain't say we 100% nothing like that, but we pretty locked in. You just got to pay attention to what we trying to give you. The game is there. You just got to pay attention. That's all I'm saying. Pay attention and listen.
So that was Monday Night Raw. Quickly, NXT, the 4-time women's tag team champion. Are they deserving to be calling themselves the GOATs now? Because they have 4 title reigns as tag team champions.
No, they're not. But
okay.
Nah.
Liv and Raquel defending against Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley. Y'all know who won. They literally just got the titles back. They couldn't even go a week without them damn titles. A week. The one championship Cool McCain hates the most in WWE changed hands. Lexis King is no longer the haircuts champion. That is now the owner of the returning Noam Dar. Of the metaphor.
You know what? Who cares? Who cares who is running around with a trophy in a wrestling promotion?
He's running around with a trophy.
Why we
What is
gotta have a heritage championship? Why we gotta have a cup? This makes no sense whatsoever on any level of logic. This is worse than Tony Khan.
I was going to ask you, what does that championship rank among all championships?
Below all of the AEW, Ring of Honor, MLW, below any other real championship, because it's not a real championship.
Even under the Speed Championship?
Under every that's like me taking this bottle of air freshener. It's saying, Playmaker, fight me for the air freshener championship.
No way. No, I
Oh,
almost
excuse me.
went. I almost
Fight me
went
for
there,
the
but I ain't gonna go there.
Fight me for the aerosol cup or aerosol bottle championship or whatever they call it.
That ain't happening. I almost went there. You almost got me.
I'm just saying. What's the difference? Anyway. I am the disinfected Lysol lavender bottle.
So, ladies and gentlemen, those who are listening on the Real Rise Radio, the Heritage Cup is even below the Invisible Speed Championship.
Because there is a championship. They just don't show it on TV, but there is a championship, a real championship.
And the reason why I call it invisible because the only time you can see is on social media.
If you have a real championship, you are above the Heritage Cup.
You can't even see the Speed Championship.
The aerosol spray bottle.
If you watch Monday Night Raw, NXT, or Friday Night Smackdown, you will not see the Speed Championship. That is strictly social media.
But guess what? There is a real championship, though. Not a cup, not a spray bottle.
And Cool hate that
not a
just as much.
I'd rather be Speed Champion than Heritage Cup champion.
Wow. I'm learning more and more now. Thea Haley defeated Fallon Henley. Which I don't know if that's a good thing. Well, I was going to say I don't think that's a good thing for Fatal Influence, but they went to TNA as she spoke earlier and decided to win as a group. So I don't know. And Roxanne Perez, Stephanie Victoria, they had a battle for the NXT Women's Champion. Y'all know who. Y'all can figure out who won that match. And she's not a prodigy either. Dark State has continued to rule as they beat Javon Evans and Miles Bone in a tag team match. So are we gonna put Javon Evans with different groups of guys and continue to fight Dark State and continue to lose?
Yes. If that is how you get him over, yes.
I'm gonna let them figure that out. I'm gonna let them figure that out. By the way. I wasn't gonna say, I was like, I'm gonna let them figure that out.
Yes.
Trick Williams still wants that NXT Championship title. Obafemi don't care. Obafemi has beaten him multiple times. But he did give credit to Javon Evans for the heck of a match at Stand and Deliver. The young OG held his own in Obafemi's eyes. He has no pity for Trick Williams whatsoever. And then nobody said his name this time, but he showed up still. You notice that, right? His name was not mentioned at all. He still showed up. So can we stop say his name and he appears now? Can we put that to bed now? He just shows up now. And those who one of them I'm talking about the TNA champion, Joe Hendry, showed up on NXT Tuesday.
You saw what it got him the following Sunday. We talked about that at the beginning of the show. What it got him the following Sunday.
Yep. RKO at WrestleMania, NXT Tuesday, TNA Thursday, Rebellion the weekend. Busy day for the TNA World Champion. Busy week for him. But he's still TNA World Champion. And by the way, they Oba Femi and Joe Hendry did not make your they did your boy dirty. If I'm being completely honest, they did Trick Willie dirty. And then we get to SmackDown. We have a new tag team, which explains why what happened at Stand Delivered took place. A new tag team has debuted on the SmackDown roster. Why they couldn't be on Raw? Raw needs some help. SmackDown's already good. Nevertheless, Fat Sam is now on SmackDown. So the SmackDown title division is getting even more deep. Don't you think they should have been on Raw to help that tag team division out?
Well, man, I already told you they're better than New Day. They don't want to bring in people better than the champs.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to be respectful to the New Day.
I mean, you asked me the question, I answered it.
That's what I said. I'm going to be respectful to the New Day because there's so many ways I can go with that, to be quite honest with you. All right. We had Randy Orton and John Cena open both Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown. On Monday Night Raw, John Cena continued his heel turn that's going after the fans, and then he got a RKO by Randy Orton. On Friday Night SmackDown, we had a promo battle between Randy Orton and John Cena.
And then John Cena got RKO by Randy Orton.
Again. Here's the thing, though. And it's strange to see Randy Orton as the good guy and John Cena as the bad guy. And is that strange right now?
Not for me, because Randy Orton has always done a good job of being good at either. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's been a douchebag bad guy several times, but he's always good at it either way. You know what I'm saying?
Because I think Randy Orton was...
But it's weird to see him as a good guy with John Cena as the bad guy. I'll give you that.
I think that was what Randy Orton was alluding to. Like, it's just strange, like, the rules are reversed between us.
Mm-hmm.
Randy Orton tried to talk some sense into John Cena. And then John Cena, I hate to say this, but John Cena shamed every single parent in the freaking world. Randy Orton tried to shame John Cena. Like, you need to have some kids, man. Maybe that's what you're missing, some kids. Well, that man said, I don't need kids because for 25 years I've been raising theirs. I was like, wow.
You've been raising my kid because my kid don't even watch wrestling, Johnny boy.
I was like, wow. Okay. That's crazy. I say John Cena went though. That's when I say, oh, he's definitely bought into this heel turn. When you're here, you can say stuff like that, though.
You can.
So I was like, okay. All right, John, I'm with it. I am definitely with it. This is great. But yeah, he did take another RKO. And John Cena was the one to make it official. Him and Randy Orton in St. Louis because it is Randy Orton's hometown. So why not beat Randy Orton from his own family? Which is going to happen. Just don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. All right, sir, you ready to have a smile on your face, sir? Another match that we didn't expect to have in 2025 that we end up getting. the champion, the women's champion, Tiffany Stratton, came out to the ring. Wanted to bask in her victory at WrestleMania over Charlotte Flair, which you should do when you beat somebody like Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania, or somebody like Becky Lynch or Bayley. You should be able to have a victory lap on the following show that you're on, because that is the biggest event that you can get a win on. Disagree, sir?
I don't disagree. And it was I did enjoy seeing the match. It was actually a couple of like little iffy spots in there a little bit, but it was actually a really good match for the most part. Both ladies held their own. They did a great job, and they both looked very delicious in their ring gear. So it's a good, great match.
And the other person that Tiffany was starting in the fighting was the one Jay Cargill. I'm like, wait a minute. Jay Cargill versus Tiffany Stratton? Is this for real? Are they joking with me? They wasn't. They was going at it. Of course, it's like on Monday Night Raw with Io Sky and Stephanie McCarry. It ends in a no contest. Why does it end in no contest? Because Naomi is not done with Jay Cargill. She attacked Jay Cargill. Tiffany Stratton gets in the ring. What that looked like? How dare you interfere in this match? And before you know it, Nia Jax took out the champ. She's back. So you have Naomi not done with Jay, and now you have Nia Jax coming back for her former best friend. How do you feel right now?
I like that both people had this assumption that they had gone by these feuds, and it's not how things work.
So we're not done here. And then we get to the other bad news of the day. I don't know if my sister watched SmackDown, but I am here to inform those of you who are in the camp with me. We will not be seeing Bianca Belair for quite some time. She has a broken hand, and she'll be missing action. But she did leave SmackDown with a smile on her face. How do you feel about her goodbye promo with Brian Saxon?
It leaves a lot open for when she gets back on how things are moving. So I like that. And plus, we don't want to definitely give her a place, but you want to just kind of not have her be forgotten. This is kind of what you do.
So, no Bianca for a while, so I will try to survive as best I can. he left because he know I don't mean that.
That dude said. Crazy work.
Hey, sometimes I gotta take your position. Sometimes, all right. I'm sorry.
That dude said.
The surprise of the week.
Yeah, crazy work.
A new United States Women's Champion, Zelina Vega. I have to admit, I did not think I ain't think they'll pull the trigger on her. I ain't think they'll do it. I'm gonna be quite honest with you.
That's fair.
I ain't think they'll do it. And then I got surprisingly surprised. No, they put the trigger.
That's fair.
Can't say that I'm mad about it.
That's also fair.
Because you know how I feel about one Chelsea Green. But Zelina Vega is she's finally a singles champion. Congratulations.
Well,
which was interesting because the very next segment was The Miz getting something off his chest. Not being a part of WrestleMania. Shawn Michaels needed an opponent. Randy Orton needed an opponent. They did not call The Miz. I think there was another match he was talking about that was on WrestleMania. The Miz didn't get the call. And the reason why this ties into Zelina Vega because the return officially happened on SmackDown. And when I do say the return, I mean the full-fledged return
It's the return
of Aleister Black. When I say the full return, lights go out, you pan, you see the candles. And once you saw the candles, you knew who it was. There's only one man that has candles in his entrance. He returned and let's just say he made the Miz fade to black. With a black mask. Husband and wife are back together again. With the same company. Very interesting how they did that. All right, sir. So Jacob Fatu won the United States Championship match. So why is it? Well, I know why, because he's Jacob Fatu, but why is it that he's going to have himself in a fatal four-way for his first title defense? The reason why I say that because it puts him in Drew McIntyre versus LA Knight for the number one contendership for the United States title.
outside
And
interference.
outside interference happened because Damian Priest is not done with Drew McIntyre. And Jacob Fatu being the Samoan rival that he is, everybody can get it.
It's a good first title defense for him because he can win the match and look stronger. I mean, to be honest, he's not going to lose this match, right? He's not going to lose this match. He has his choice of people that he can pin, including, I do believe his cousin is going to be involved. Possibly.
I'm waiting for that turn to happen now, so.
Oh, they've already.
Because he's sitting here trying to take all the credit and all that. So yeah, we thank you, Solo, for bringing over Jacob Fatu into WWE. But guess
That's
what?
all you did.
If you didn't screw up the first time, he wouldn't have to go the route that he had to go to get the United States Championship. Like he said, you get in where you fit in. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, you better get used to that. I'm gonna start saying that. I can't help it. And then, sir, I'm gonna turn this over to you. The main event of SmackDown, which should have been on WrestleMania. You can go now.
When you see the smoke, you know it's fire in the building. And they want the smoke. They got the smoke and they gave the smoke. And still, you're reigning and defending WWE World Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. The Goons that got screwed out of their WrestleMania moment, the Street Profits. Great match.
That was a hell of a TLC match.
Found a way to win.
That was a hell of a TLC match.
And there are some comments here. I mean, I don't have a lot to say about the match. It was a good match. It was a great TLC match. It was a WrestleMania worthy match on SmackDown. While we had a what's the show that they do? They don't even be on TV no more.
That don't be on TV anymore.
Yeah, Heat, or let's just say a Heat worthy tag team match was on WrestleMania.
I was like, that don't exist no more.
I don't think Heat exists no more, but yeah. So, congratulations to the Street Profits. You have been undermined.
That's his point, and my point was SmackDown was the better tag team division. Did they not prove it?
So here's the thing. It's great that they are the tag team champions. But as previously stated, truthfully, the higher ups didn't even see the value in allowing these gentlemen to be on the WrestleMania card. A lot of truth be said in jest. little trash talking. A lot of truth be said in jest. That was truth.
To be honest, I think we both was saying the same thing. I just added more people to it.
I'm just saying. Yeah, we were saying it, but I'm just saying truth is said in jest. And you know who probably wrote that promo? Mr. I Don't See Color. Or one of Mr. I Don't See Color's direct underlings.
DIY Motor City Machine Gun and Street Profits put on one hell of a main event on SmackDown.
A WrestleMania worthy match that we got on SmackDown when we got a Sunday Night Heat caliber tag team match on the WrestleMania card.
They actually gave you more the way you thought the Street Profits was actually gonna lose this match because they was taking hella bumps. Motor City Machine was taking hella bumps. And DIY was taking hella bumps. So you ain't know who was gonna win this match.
But we did all know it should have been on WrestleMania's main card. That's what we did, though.
Oh, it definitely should have been on WrestleMania. You was sticking up for the Street Profits. I was sticking up for the Street Profits and Motor City Machine Gun. You was like, how y'all acted like that was the hottest new tag team in the company, but you can't put them on WrestleMania along with the Street Profits. Like, come on.
All right, so I'm gonna go back and run through these comments real quick. We're gonna go way back. Like I said, Stephen A gets on my nerves, and you being very stubborn, just like him.
Hey, Stephen A get on a lot of people's nerves, and I get on people's nerves too. You just don't be seeing it, but I get on a lot of people's nerves.
You could be getting on people's nerves. That's what you do. I be watching this. They be getting tired of playback. 1609 Wrestling says, I think Gunther is gonna get Adam Pearce next. I mean, it's a possibility because he did get suspended. So when he come back, 1609 says, I'm very surprised how the Romans and Gunthers lose their championships and don't request a rematch.
Roman lost and he went on sabbatical.
Yeah, Roman disappeared for like forever.
Gunther lost and wanted to fight the commentary team.
Yeah. So they found ways to take the, like for Gunther especially, they found a creative way to say, not get a rematch right now. But, and it gives him a break. The whole time I was thinking Brock Lesnar a couple of years ago. And that's what they did. Yolanda says all the women in NXT are good in my opinion. She goes on to say
1,000,000% agreement.
She goes on to say best women's division in all of wrestling. My guy Bobby, Beantown Breakdown, says, cool, my guy. What up, Bobby? Appreciate you tuning in. Yolanda says that's his theme song. And Yolanda says, y'all hear how many times Wade Barrett was saying the TLC match should have been at WrestleMania? Yup. Yolanda says broken fingers. Yes, actually not her hand. It's like two of her fingers are broke. They were saying hand. That's why you think hand, because they were saying hand, but it's not.
Oh, I know his fingers. But you want to be technical with it. It's fingers, but you want to keep it in general terms. Hand.
Yolanda says, yes, she saw it. And then she said her husband was there to celebrate with her. It's cool. Yeah. True.
Yeah, the day Aleister Black probably re-debut in WWE, his wife is the new United States champion. Very touching. Very, very touching.
Damien says, what's up? Sliding the building a little late, but he here.
You signed late. I'm glad you're here because somebody took a shot at AEW. I don't know if you've seen it. I saw it on social media. I don't know if you've seen it. They took a shot at AEW, and I was like, wow, interesting. I had to read the post just to get the context behind why they did what they did. Just like, wow. So Penta has been in WWE for how long now? A couple of months. He was at WrestleMania, right?
Yeah.
Ray Felix. Couple of weeks. Even though it was unexpected. Wrestling at WrestleMania, right?
Mm-hmm.
CM Punk. Main event at WrestleMania, right? Who else came from AEW to WWE? Aleister Black just debuted. Rusev just debuted. Andrade.
Cody was in the main event.
Cody was in the main event
Night 2.
for the second year in a row.
Third.
But they was really focused on Penta, Ray Felix, and I'm trying to think somebody else. These guys, I didn't notice. You probably confirmed this for me. They was never a part of All In, which is supposed to be their biggest show, right?
It was Penta, Ray Phoenix. Who else was in AEW? I'm trying to remember myself. I have to look at the card because it was 3 of them.
These guys was never part of All In, which I didn't never know. AEW's biggest show, and these guys weren't a part of it. And they first year, my friend, ain't even a year. They already had matches at WrestleMania.
Well, we know it wasn't El Grande Americana.
Oh, Jay Cargill. Yes, Jay Cargill was one of them.
It was Jay Cargill. I don't think she was part of All In either. So you're right, Damien. Thank you for that, sir. Look at Damien paying dividends.
Why you said that so surprisingly?
I'll be messing with Damien. Damien's my guy. This is your first time listening in a while. Damien is a super regular. And love to shout out our people that really be rocking with us every week. Hopefully Damien be sharing the show for us too. But he definitely be here supporting. So appreciate that for sure.
I'll be about 15 minutes over.
Yep. So we're gonna go ahead and end things here. Make sure you tell those 4 people who you think like you that may not, and also those 4 people that you know like you. Just because they may or may not like you, we know they're gonna like us. And it's never where you start, it's always where you finish. Your boys will be back next week. More wrestling talk. Hopefully somebody give us something to make us be like, it's some possibilities, but ain't nothing firm yet. And we need firm for these things. So good people, be back next week. Make sure you bring some people with you. And let's talk wrestling. Oh, and even if you're sharing after the show, it still helps us. Show your boy some love and share it whenever you see it. We appreciate that. And we out.